As the dust from Euro settles, a brand new set in the form of Tactical Masters hits our shelves. Now it's time to ask the question, to buy or not to buy this side set. What's up YouTube, Dale here from Zephyr Games, and today I'm going to take you through a rundown of Tactical Masters. So this is the brand new side set introducing us to 3 new art types, being Runics, Labyrinths and Valiants. Now it also brings us with the Collector's Rare set as well, and this is due to hit our shelves in 2 days time after this video is released. So, what can we expect to see? Well, this is one of those side sets where it's comprised of rares, super rares, ultra rares and then collector rares. Now, if it is still the same after production is released, in the European areas, you are looking at getting 4 collector's rares per case, and in the States, you are looking at getting 3 collector's rares per case, but you get an additional ultra per box. So what that means is, in the European areas, you will get 3 ultras per box, but if you get a collector's rare in that box, you will only get 2 ultra rares. Whereas in America, every box you get 3 ultra rares, and then if you were to get, you get 4 ultra rares, and if you were to get a collector's rare, you would get 3 ultra rares. Unless you get a broken box, which they've had in the past, where you just get a box full of collector's rares, which is mad. Anyway, so the question that it's all going to come down to is to buy or not to buy this set. Well, let's have a look at what it does introduce us to. So you look at the collector rares, we'll start off there as they are probably like the collector's value within this set. So in the collector's rares, the generic cards you'll be looking at will be Anti-Spell Fragrance, which is pretty good, Cosmic Cyclone, Scapegoat. I also believe that there is a Droll and Lockbird in there as well. Now the best thing about that is the reprints of those cards will also be coming out in rares or supers, and they'll be a lot easier and cheaper to pick up if you just need them for your deck. When you look at their generic usage, well, you kind of look at Trap Trick is also another one as well, but you kind of look at what was a rarity upgrade and what wasn't. Now, the general collectors have always seemed to value and find that ultimates are more value than collector's rare. So straight away that knocks out Cosmic Cyclone, that knocks out Scapegoat, and knocks out Droll and Lockbird because they all have ultis. When you look at Anti-Spell Fragrance and Trap Tricks, they are probably the closest upgrade you can possibly get for these generic cards. Anti-Spell right now is a great card for this format, so it's definitely something that a lot of people will be looking for, and I would probably say is your most highly valued card in the entire set. When you look at something like Tier 0 games, you'll see as well that all of their collector rares have currently sold out, but they will be restocking them. Hopefully by the time this video drops, you'll be able to see that as well. So if it is something you are looking for, by all means go and check them out. They are also doing full cores for the Valiants, the Runics and the Labyrinths as well. So now let's get into the cores. So what makes these new decks so relevant, or what are these new decks? Well, we'll start with the Valiants. So Valiants are currently the cheapest. You can get a full core on Tier 0 games for about £60. And this is a pendulum based art type that utilises moving columns. To me, it's a little bit slow, which you can kind of see is reflected in the value that is currently being put on its pre-order prices. They do get additional effects, but they all kind of want to basically move around the board as like their chess pieces. So they want to be able to like come out of the pendulum zone, move right, bring another one out of the pendulum zone, move right. It's kind of like a mixture of pendulum mech knights. It does have some really cool artwork, it does have some really nice colours integrated with it as well, but the overall practicality and usage of a deck like this is so slow for the current game state that unless they get some amazing support coming out in the future sets, this one isn't really one that's going to dominate the meta or even attempt to change the meta, especially when you look at Splites and Telements really dominating right now. Moving on to the second art type, we've got Labyrinths. Now, Labyrinths actually have a very nice Trap Tricks type vibe. And what I mean by that is they are basically trap-based Fiend deck. So they've got a lot of cool traps that allow you to set a normal trap that is not a Labyrinth card directly from your deck. So you get access to stuff like Dogmatic Punishment, you get access to stuff like Compulse as well. Not the greatest or the strongest trap cards around, but are still incredibly powerful and very good in order to be able to search them and set them as and when you see fit. Again, as we'll go through the Tier 0 prices on the right hand side as well, you'll see that again, the most value card on an individual is about £25. I believe that a core was going for about £145 to £150. Again, that will change and update once they've added more stock or received their stock from the release. They are also a Fiend monster art type. I'll also put a demo deck list upline right here so you can see what the OCG are currently playing the list like. Now yes, they play a lot of hand traps, and the idea is that you play very few monsters. The monsters are just going to be there to facilitate getting to your traps, quite like Trap Tricks, and also quite like the Dynamorphias as well, where they rely more on their traps to give them the game-winning routes than actually the monsters themselves. So again, it's a nice little adaptive to what the art type can do. If you are a fan of Trap Tricks, you might be attracted to this particular type of deck as well. But at the moment, again, there's not really any cards in there that make you go, whoa, wow, this is going to change the game, this is going to change the meta. However, when you look back at previous side sets that have done stuff like this, you'll always be able to see stuff like Drytrons have come out of a side set, Sky Strikers came out of a side set, Adamanticators and Eldritch came out of a side set. Heck, even what won Euros in Reekers came out in a side set, so do not sleep on stuff like this as well. We'll then move on to my personal favourite, and my personal favourite art type in this is the Runics. And the reason that this is so cool is that it is a deck that is not based on reducing your opponent's life points to 0. Most of its win cons come from banishing cards from the top of your opponent's deck and being able to activate quick play spells during your opponent's turn. The artwork on the Runics is also really, really cool because it gives me kind of like Skyrim for RPG game style vibes, and you'll actually see from the artwork that it involves a lot of the generators, so there might be a connection in the lore between the two, which just makes me feel that they're even more cool. Now the biggest downside of this deck like this is it relies on the field spell, which is the Fountain, and the Fountain is what provides you the ability to not only recycle your cards to get you draw, but it also allows you to activate the quick plays from your hand during your opponent's turn. Why is that relevant? Well, it does let you play around stuff like Cosmic Cyclones, Harpy's Feather Dusters, and everything like that. However, in a format where anti-spell is pretty much in everybody's side deck right now, this could be an auto lose with a deck like this. So as it suggests, the Fountain allows you to put 3 or up to 3 of your quick play runic cards to the bottom of your deck to draw that many cards, which can be very, very good. But when your deck is going to be based possibly at least 30 spell cards, and the remaining 10 cards might be something like Battle Fader, or they might be something like the Mirror Forces, just everything to kind of stop your opponent getting to the battle phase, it kind of has the same vibes that when you're relying on a card to be able to say, okay, I'm not going to put anything on the board, I'm not going to put any monsters on the board, I'm just going to hope that I can't get hit in the battle phase and just stop my opponent playing. It kind of has a bit of a crack in its armor in order to kind of get to the end goal. It does still have monsters, it does have fusion monsters, which are their main out point, but the issue with these monsters is they have 0 attack and they're very, very defensive. So you'll put them on the board, your opponent could probably get rid of them, they're not going to be the strongest type cards, but it's all going to be relying on these quick play spells in order to disrupt, and I'll put them up on the screen so you can see each of the different cards and what you kind of have access to. So overall, the 3 archetypes are all fun depending on your type of play style. So Runics, I feel that the RPG element, the art type, the lore, and just if you are a fan of milling your opponent's deck, it will be something that will appeal more to you. I feel when you look at the Labyrinths as well, the artworks are pretty cool. The whole feel towards Trap Tricks is also quite interesting as well. The trap cards aren't as synergized with a deck like Trap Tricks because they do say you can't special summon monsters from the extra deck, or you can't special summon monsters except fiends, so it does kind of limit your expansion of where you can take them, but again it does give you a control-esque vibe and it does allow you to utilize them. With the Valiants, if you do like the idea of kind of like, I believe they're like ninjas that mix with mechanoids, and the whole pendulum art type has been played a little bit differently, it might be something that appeals to you, and considering that they're at the cheap level, it might be worth picking up a deck core at around about £50–60, that might be worth giving it a go. So the overall set of tactical masters, well, on a competitive level, the answer would quite simply be no. It's very, very difficult to justify buying this on a competitive level because you're not really going to be able to get anywhere. In regards to buying small sample boxes, and what I mean by that is the odd pack here and there or a box, again, it's probably more value to buy them in the States than it is in the European area, because with the European area, you're only ever going to get 3 ultra rares, and when you look at the prices of the main cards, they're about £25 each. If a box retails at about £70, you need to pull 3 of the best ultras in order to make your money back. Whereas if you go to America and you pick up a box from there, you've got an additional chance to make your money back, but you lose a like a chance to get a collector's rare. So basically what I'm saying is, in the European areas, if you buy a case, that's your best form of value. In America, you're better off just buying the odd box here and there, because that will give you your best value, because you're not gambling on getting these free collector rares. Then talking about the collector rares and the reprints, I don't feel that any of the collector rares are that special. I feel that collector rares that fall within the art types are going to be a lot lower than their current pre-sale prices until any of the art types really hit it off or do anything. And at this exact moment in time, I can't really see that happening, because they all have very specific and direct ways of playing. Quite like Exo Sisters, where they relied on stuff to be moved from the graveyard. When you look at Runics, they rely on being able to mill your opponent out. When you look at Labyrinths, they rely on being able to control your opponent with normal trap cards. And then when you look at the Valiants, it just is a pendulum-based art type that lets you move around the columns, which is kind of we've already seen this with stuff like Meta Knights. We already saw this with like the Titanclad Dragon and everything like that. The column moving and column control isn't the best type of work in Yu-Gi-Oh! You then look at the collector's rare. Now, the only thing that the generic collector's rare show me is that the reprints of the Draw and Lock Bird, the Cosmic Cyclones, and the Anti-Spell Frames are amazing for the budget players. But then that wouldn't justify going and buying multiple boxes. You're probably going to go, right, well, I'll get one box, I'll probably get the rares that I need. If I get any decent ultras, I can sell them and get what I want, unless I am absolutely dedicated on any of the specific art types within the set as well. So that's kind of my thoughts on the Tactical Masters. Yes, it's an okay set. It's not a set I'll be rushing out to buy. Me personally, I don't even know how many I'm going to buy. I am tempted to pick up a Runic deck, which is quite a lot, quite like what a lot of people are doing, because I like the way that the artwork works, and I like the way that the mechanic works. So it'll be interesting to kind of see it and test it and play around with it a little bit more. But even then, I would probably be looking at buying a core than I would be buying the boxes. When you can look at a core, it's probably going to be £150, which is on average maybe 2 boxes worth. And then when you look at the amount of ultras that are going to be within a core, you're definitely going to get your values worth by doing that, even if you pick up the individuals in trade fodder as well. I would then be ranking, so I'd go Runics, and I'd go Labyrinths, and then I'd go Valiants. Valiants are the cheapest, and I reckon you'll probably pick up a core for about £40. And I feel that if you ever can pick up a deck core for £40, there's never really a massive negative area for it, because yes, okay, it could fall in value to what, £20, so you lose £20, but then there's just so much more potential that one broken card can take it up to the next level, and you just never know. Whereas when you're risking with a deck core of £150, it's going to be something that you need to be playing and you need to have faith in, that's going to do the job for you as and when you see fit. Anyway, I hope you found this video informative. Overall, like I said, I feel singles are the better way to go. I feel that if you're not interested in any of the particular art types themselves, and you just want to get a box to open up product, or you want some of the low rarity reprints, then buying a single box is more than enough. Obviously, if you're in the States, it's going to be a bit more value buying that single box than it is anything else. If you're in the EU and you actually want to get one of the art types, you could risk it and buy an entire case. Keep in mind that an entire case will go from about £600 to £800, when you could probably pick up all 3 cores for the same price, well, a lot less. You can probably pick up all 3 cores for about £350 if you look at the right place. So you're saving yourself £450 to £250, and basically trading that for 4 collector rares. Looking at collector's rares, if you were to get the 4 best ones, you're looking at £240. So let's say you got 4 anti-spells, and this is just off the top of my head. Pre-sale prices of those are £80 a piece. You get £320, plus you get, let's say you do complete the course, no guarantee that you will. You're then looking at a total of £710. So you've already negged £90 and you've got everything you could possibly need. So value-wise, it's not there, unfortunately. Competitive-wise, again, it's not there. You would really be buying this stuff for the artwork and the playstyle of a specific deck. And if you are only interested in the playstyle of a specific deck, you're probably going to be going and buying core or singles as well. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.